57 years ago, an alien race known as the Nunsuch attacked Earth, wiping out 95% of humanity. The few survivors were forced to live underground, while a handful of stragglers stubbornly remained on the surface. For anyone who wanted to return above ground, the only option was to become a soldier and serve at an outpost, where each tour of duty lasted 100 days. After training, the soldiers were given the usual speech about fighting for humanity's future, then transported in tanks to their assigned outposts. On the way, they watched as other soldiers captured stragglers and dragged them to a fortress called Exilium. Eventually, one of the tanks stopped at the Cerberus outpost to drop off someone. He couldn't enter the bunker because the door was jammed, so he took the stairs up to the watchtower. There, the system pricked his finger for DNA identification, welcomed him to his service, and listed his duties: maintain the defense circle, monitor the cameras, watch for the Nunsuch, and escort any stragglers to Exilium. After running a system check, someone reported to his commander that the previous soldier he was replacing wasn't there. The commander explained that the last guard, VAC 7, had to be evacuated for medical reasons. He also reminded someone to report every 12 hours and not to leave the operational zone. Someone inspected the dining hall and found it in a mess. He cleaned up the area, arranged his rations, and polished the glasses. That evening, he reported that everything was in order and requested the bunker access code. Since the main door was damaged, he was instructed to use an alternate entrance. Inside the bunker, he found a small Elvis bobblehead and placed it on his desk. Later that night, he stood watch outside while smoking a cigarette. When he finally went to sleep, he dreamed of children dressed in white, dancing around. From then on, his days followed a strict routine. The system woke him up with a countdown of days left in service. He exercised on the balcony, took a shower, revealing a tattoo on his neck like all soldiers had, ran system and territory checks, and ate plain ration meals. During one of his first meals, he noticed a shadow moving. Turns out, a rat was hiding in the building. He didn't report it. Every night, he continued dreaming about the dancing children. As the days passed, the loneliness started to wear him down. 2 weeks in, he woke up to find the rat sleeping on his stomach. Excited, he tried to observe it under his helmet, but it escaped. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The system alerted him to a Nunsuch attack at a nearby outpost. He rushed to the balcony and saw distant explosions. The computer confirmed that all stragglers rescued at that location had been killed. Double-checking the cameras, someone noticed something moving in the bushes and reported it as a possible alien. His commander, however, dismissed it as an animal. There were supposedly no Nunsuch in his sector. Days later, the rat approached again while someone was eating. He offered it food, and the rat stayed. He named it Doc, and it became his only companion. One day, a camera malfunctioned, and someone had to go outside for maintenance. Alert and on edge from every sound, he fixed the camera quickly but noticed strange scratches on a tree. Nearby, he found a dead bird holding VAX 7's tags. Suddenly, the system warned of toxic emissions. He put on a helmet filter and kept moving, carefully avoiding the green smoke. Along the way, he saw a tree covered in odd moss. Curious, he removed his helmet and even tasted it. Back at the outpost, he reported his findings, but his concerns were brushed off. His commander claimed that VAX 7 was recovering in Exilium and blamed the bird's death on a deranged straggler, insisting that the Nunsuch don't attack animals. A few days later, while out on another territory check, he again encountered green smoke and saw another dead bird. He heard strange noises and then spotted a mysterious creature. He tried chasing it, but it vanished. When he reported it, the commander again dismissed it as an animal, since the defense ring hadn't been breached. Suspicious, someone searched the bunker and discovered a bloodstain hidden behind some furniture. Using a stool and measuring angles with his gun, he concluded that VAX 7 had likely taken his own life. Desperate for more answers, he tried to access the security archive but was denied. He broke into VAX 7's locker and found a sketchbook and a radio. The drawings included scenes of refugees, birds, Doc, and both his and a neighboring outpost, called Graham. Unfortunately, someone couldn't decipher the meaning. Weeks went by, and someone became obsessed with the drawing. During another territory check, he tried to visit Graham but was stopped by intense pain from an implant in his leg that prevented him from crossing the perimeter. Refusing to give up, he climbed a tree and used VAX 7's tag to reflect sunlight toward Graham, hoping to catch the other soldiers' attention, but nothing happened. Back at the outpost, he checked his own security recordings when suddenly the power failed and screens went black. On one of the screens, he saw himself with a dark figure standing behind him. He turned around, but found nothing. His brace reported no intrusions. Still, he grabbed a flashlight, rushed outside, and fired a flare to illuminate the area. The power returned, and someone quickly reported the malfunction and the creature's presence. The commander said it was impossible for anything to cross the ring undetected, since the rings had their own power sources. He promised to send a technician soon. Later, someone tried accessing the archive again, but most of the footage had been erased by the power surge. The only surviving clip was of him, with the shadowy figure behind him. The next day, someone tried to resume his routine, but he felt ill. While cleaning a glass, his frustration boiled over and he shattered it. Suddenly, a children's song played from the locker. It was the radio. On the other end was Kerfor, the soldier stationed at Graham, asking for VAC 7. When someone explained he was the replacement, Kerfor abruptly ended the call, reminding him that communication between outposts was forbidden. Later, with the power surging again, someone contacted the commander to ask about the technician who was supposed to arrive days ago. The commander claimed there had been an attack on another outpost and that the technician was moving slowly to avoid danger. After the call, someone confessed to Doc that he no longer trusted his superiors. Time passed, and his sickness persisted. On another territory check, he spotted movement in some nearby ruins. Investigating further, he discovered a mother and child. He tried to approach and offer help, but the woman fled in fear. As he chased after them, he hit the perimeter ring and collapsed from pain caused by his leg implant. Later, someone returned and heard news of yet another attack on a different outpost. Tired, frustrated, and alone, he ignored the system's report. He told Doc about his dreams, something rare, since dreaming had become unusual in this world. Those who still dreamed were seen as unstable, so someone had kept it to himself until now. That night, he tried contacting Kerfor again, but got no response. Determined, he ventured into the forest. There, he encountered a deer and shot it. As its antlers got stuck in a tree, someone did something shocking. He ate the animal raw, a clear sign that he was starting to lose his grip on reality. The next morning, someone spends some time shooting cans for fun, then climbs a tree to try the radio again. Kerfor still ignores him, which frustrates someone so much that he starts yelling. On his way back, he stops when he notices a rare flower. Just then, the alarm signals incoming toxic emissions. Someone isn't wearing his helmet and begins to feel sick, eventually collapsing. In the distance, he spots a group of dead trees and once again sees the mysterious creature before passing out. He wakes up the next day, dizzy and weak, and manages to send a message through the radio. He tells Kerfor that the Nunsuch may have infiltrated the area and possibly captured VAC 7. After that, someone returns to the outpost. 14 days before the end of his mission, an alarm goes off, but it's not an attack. It's just the technician, Mac, arriving late due to the destruction at another outpost. Mac explains he saw the building destroyed but no bodies, saying the cleaners had already handled the aftermath. When Mac sees the Elvis bobblehead and sketchbook, he realizes he's been at this outpost before. He recalls that VAC 7 had been mentally unstable. Someone then shows him a recording of the strange creature in the background, but Mac claims it's just a glitch, saying the system had overlapped images of someone himself. Mac checks the system and notices the defense ring cameras are down, which doesn't make sense since someone recently recharged them. As they begin a system diagnostic, Doc climbs onto the desk. Mac reacts violently, shoving Doc and sending him flying. Furious, someone rushes to the rat, talking to him gently until Doc opens his eyes, still alive. Mac mocks him, calling him as crazy as VAC 7. Enraged, someone points his gun at Mac and demands access to the archive recordings, which is against protocol. Mac refuses, believing someone won't actually shoot. But someone proves him wrong by hitting him twice. Terrified now, Mac apologizes to Doc and hacks into the archive firewall, but they still need 2 personal codes to unlock it, a remnant from when 6 guards were stationed here. Someone doesn't let Mac go. In a sudden move, Mac stabs him with a screwdriver and a fight breaks out. Despite the injury, someone overpowers Mac, who fights back by hitting someone in the wound. In response, someone begins choking Mac by pressing on his breathing device, but he stops when he notices Mac's eye turning red. As someone retrieves his gun, Mac finally opens up. He tells him about his past, when he served as a soldier. His helicopter had crashed in the desert, and only he and one other soldier survived. When he returned after searching for help, his partner had cut off his own ears. During a sandstorm, Mac saw the shadows of the Nunsuch. They killed his teammate quickly, and their scream caused Mac's ears to bleed and his body to convulse in pain. That's when he understood why his friend mutilated himself. By the time rescuers arrived, Mac's lungs were full of sand and his larynx damaged, which is why he needs the device to breathe. Someone locks Mac inside the bunker, then treats his wound and sends a fake report, pretending all is well. When the commander asks about Mac, he lies, saying he's fixed everything and left. Later, someone finally reaches Kerfor on the radio and gets the access code needed to unlock the archives. He reviews the footage and sees VAC 7 starting his assignment well, doing his duties and bonding with Document. But over time, Vax 7 loses his mind and begins destroying the equipment, which explains all the malfunctions. Someone calls Cur 4 again and shares a disturbing theory. He believes the Nunsuch don't actually exist. According to him, no one has ever truly seen these aliens or found their bodies. He suspects the government invented the Nunsuch to send people into exilium. With the world's resources running out, the elite wanted to preserve them, while forcing soldiers to hunt down stragglers, hide them, or even kill them. That's why the woman and child didn't want to be rescued. Cur 4 refuses to believe any of this and accuses someone of being just as crazy as Vax 7. He plays a nursery rhyme, the same one that once calmed Vax 7. But someone hates it and cuts off the call. A few days later, with only 1 week left, someone is losing his grip on reality. He fails to notice Doc hiding in a can. Suddenly, the system warns of Nunsuch approaching from the north. Instead of reacting with concern, someone flies into a rage. He throws the can at the screen, then smashes it with a heavier object. When he looks for Doc, he finds the rat dead from the impact. Losing Doc, his only companion, completely breaks someone. Stripped of any remaining sanity, he walks outside naked and lies in the grass, waiting for the toxic green smoke. Just then, the creature appears and begins chasing him through the woods. Someone finds the deer's antlers and uses them to attack, beating the creature to death. But when he examines the body, he makes a horrifying discovery. The creature was Vax 7, driven insane and feral by his isolation. Determined to confront the truth, someone retrieves his gun and visits Mac. He tells him he no longer believes his story. He accuses Mac of lying and claims that spreading fear, both among the soldiers and the stragglers, is part of the government's plan. Mac doesn't care. He just wants to return to his family. But someone still needs him. He demands instructions on how to shut down the defense ring's power supply. That way, the Nunsuch could enter, but someone doesn't believe they exist. He threatens to kill Mac unless he complies. Once he has the instructions, someone calls Cur 4 and tells him he'll visit soon, so they can be free of this madness. He packs everything and leaves behind a sketch of his own face. After freeing Mac, who escapes on a bike, someone burns his military tag and gives Doc a proper burial. He then runs through the forest until he reaches the defense ring. The pain in his leg returns, but he pushes through, digs up the power cables and cuts them, triggering an alarm. Ignoring it, he smashes his brace, shutting the system down and turning off all the Outpost's monitors. Moments later, someone arrives at the Graham Outpost and is surprised to find the doors wide open. Inside, the place is a mess. There's no sign of Cur 4, only blood and body parts. Suddenly, his ears start bleeding and his head throbs as he hears a loud screech. He looks outside and sees the horrifying truth. The Nunsuch are real. Their ships are attacking now that the defense rings are down because of him. Overwhelmed with guilt, someone runs into the forest, dodging explosions. One blast knocks him into a tree, but before another can hit, Mac arrives to save him. Tragically, a massive, grotesque Nunsuch appears and kills Mac, tearing him apart. Someone runs again, narrowly dodging attacks, and reaches the bunker. He can't get in, he needs a new code. Fortunately, his brace still works, and he manages to unlock the door just in time. He races to the cell and locks it as the Nunsuch break through the walls. As they screech through the corridor, someone's head throbs in pain. He hides as one of the creatures finds him and opens its mouth. At that exact moment, someone fires his weapon, but the outcome is left to the imagination. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.